Hello traders, I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to do a quick technical analysis on the pound US dollar on the 8-hour time frame. So for the beginning, let's start with the with what happened in the past few weeks. So in the past few weeks, pound had fallen off a cliff. As you can see, it got back from this resistance up at 1.35 down to 127, 128. So let me talk a little bit about why I have these trend lines and where are these horizontal lines coming from. So obviously we had this resistance line up here, which was going back, and it was tested a few times earlier before the coronavirus this year. It was also in the play here in early August, and so that would be one of our targets on the way up. The other resistance line is here, which was again in the play here, and back here. So nothing special about the resistance lines and the support lines. Obviously, this support line is coming from this high in the early June and the current the low that we got on the September 11 here at 128. So the interesting thing that I wanted to talk about is these trend lines. So I'm going to start with this trend line down here. So this one is a pretty obvious one. So it shows the pound US dollar in an uptrend. Of course, this is mainly because of the dollar's value falling, not particularly because of the pound. But anyway, we have this trend line that is a pretty old trend line from mid-May until the end of June and the beginning of July. So it had two touches. Right now, the trend line is coming in at 1.2619. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna take this trend line, I'm gonna clone this trend line, okay, and then I'm gonna start moving it around to see where it gives me an interesting point. So, for example, here. If you can see it, it was working as resistance here. It was working as resistance here again. It broke up. It worked a few times. The price hugged this trend line during this period. Then it started moving off of it. When the price came back down, it hit the trend line and this support that we have here at the same time. So these are basically the same thing. And right now, this trend line is coming in at this exactly at the support on 1.28. We can do this more. We can keep cloning this trend line and see what else it can show us. I really like to do this. I highly recommend you to do this. Don't forget, trading is an art. It's not a science. So don't look for a particular way to trade, to draw your trend lines. It's an art. You have to enjoy doing it to do it right. So as you can see, we have this other line. It's coming in from at the end of April, May 1st. It was acting as resistance here. It was acting as support multiple times during August, and it can also. So as I said, this 132 can be a target point if you want to go long. And as you can see, this trend line is actually coinciding with this horizontal resistance up here. So that would just add to the importance of this price point at this time. Of course, that would be end of September, 1st of October, if everything goes well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna give an example of how we can trade this. So what I have in mind, we have two options. You can either buy a strength, or we can buy on pullbacks. So if you want to buy on pullbacks, the first good point to do this would be here at 128. We can buy there, and we can target somewhere around 132 or somewhere below that if you're trading on a one contract basis, of course. Another point, if you want to be a little bit safer, but the price just may never comes back and it may just go away. But the next point to lean into the buy side is where this support line at 126 and this prime trend line that we have here, this bottom trend line that we have here coincide. That would be somewhere around 126.51. Of course, we probably can get a tighter stop loss with a stop loss around 124.89, which is this other support line down here. But as I said, the price may never come back here. Of course, we can instead buy into strength. So we can wait for the price to move up, break something, and then that we're sure that the price is going up, then we can get in. So I'm gonna move this trend line. I'm actually looking to see if I can. Right. So check this line out. Now, if you feel uncertainty, if you're not sure that the lines that you have, you like them or not, I suggest you just go ahead and delete them. You don't have to be in the market at all the times. It's a very important point in trading. You don't have to trade everything that you can. So I want to look at this downtrend line, this move down, which was actually, it ended recently. So the price was trading just below this trend line. It came back up, it broke the trend line, get back down and retested it on September 17th. And now we're apparently we are resuming up. Of course, we have this horizontal resistance up here, which is just the same line. Let me push this up a little bit to here. It's also a psychological level of 1.3, so it's a big fat round number. It's an important line. If we start breaking it, and we are not going to buy the breakout, we're going to wait for the resumption downwards, and then we're going to get in here. So if that happens, oops, I'm sorry. So if that happens, I would be happy to get in. I would be happy to buy in here at 130.02. The tightest I want my stop loss to be is just below this this local support. So let me add that line in too. So we have a local support here at 128.70. Let me change that to local support. The tightest I want my stop loss to be is here, so 128.70. But the safer place to put our stop loss would be the other side of this support at 128, so maybe 127.70 or something. Of course, it's a wide stop loss, and it won't give us a very good risk to reward ratio. So I believe that you either have to trade from this stop loss, this tighter stop loss, which would increase your risk because there's a higher probability that the price just wicks back down and stops you out and starts moving up again. Or the better way is the first option that I talked about, is to buy on pullbacks. So buying here on this trend line was a great opportunity. I hope you guys, some of you at least, use this opportunity to get in long. It's had a very good risk to reward ratio. But right now, we have to either wait for another pullback, another test of maybe this support, maybe this trend line support, or maybe further down, this other trend line support. That would give us a very good opportunity to get in long. Of course, if we break this trend line, if we break this support, and if we also break this trend line and retest it, that would probably coincide with breaking this support here, then we're going to get neutral. Until then, we're really bullish on the pound US dollar. As you can see, we're in the extreme uptrend. We had this pullback. So let's, before we end this video, I want to just take a quick look at this pullback. So starting from the May lows, we can see that this move up, followed by a 50% pullback. Okay, so if you start counting from here, that would be a 50% pullback exactly on our support, and this is healthy. This is healthy for an uptrend. you can't say that this trend up is over just because it pulled back to 50%. So be greedy when everyone is fearful. And we can also look at this Fibonacci that's coming from the March lows, actually. So after the fall, after the sell-off of the coronavirus until the all-time high, not all-time high, the yearly high that we got at the beginning of September, we can see again, we're still far away from 61.8% Fibonacci. So there is still a lot of room for price to move down. It may just consolidate here. It may just wait for a period of time here, and then it starts moving up, or maybe it's just breaking down. This move may continue to the south. So that's it. That's all the awareness I wanted to give you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button and let me know what you think in the comment section below.